Rental properties give you great monthly cash flow, but flips and rehabs give you big chunks of cash really fast. That's what I'm talking about in part 3 in my 10-part series on how to increase your wealth through real estate. Stand by.
Monday, complaining about 40.
All right, so if you watch part 2 in this 10-part series, you know the different ways that buying a rental property can increase your monthly cash flow, and the other ways it makes you money as well, and how you can get more of them through the BRRRR method, where you buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. In today's video, I'm gonna talk a little bit about simple rehab and why you wanna do them. The biggest reason you wanna do them is because they are a lot faster than the BRRRR method, all right? One is more of a passive income play, the other is more of an active income play. So when you do a simple rehab, you are looking for properties that need work. They are below market condition, and because of that, you are going to buy them at a great deal. Maybe you're gonna go to the seller directly. Maybe you're gonna find a wholesaler that found a great deal. In either case, the property needs some work. In a simple rehab, it's gonna be cosmetic. Maybe it needs basic repairs. Maybe simple maintenance has been neglected. Maybe it hasn't been updated in 30 years and you gotta do the floors, the cabinets, the countertops, the appliances, and the bathrooms. Those are all very common ones. In a simple rehab, you wanna make sure you have at least a 25% margin on your costs. So if all in, the deal is gonna cost you $100,000, and I know that's a low number when we're talking about houses, but let's just keep the example simple. You're gonna wanna make sure that the projected sale on that is $125,000, a 25% margin. All right. Like everything else in real estate, people tend to get over optimistic. They do a couple of things because of this misguided optimism. Make sure you don't do any of these. Number one, they overprice what it will sell for. Do not do that. Study the comparables and be reasonable, be conservative. It would be better to perform it a little bit under and then beat that sales price. You'd be much happier than the reverse scenario happening. So study the comparable, study the recently solds. On a simple flip, I think you wanna aim for about average or slightly above average. You don't wanna build to the top of the neighborhood. You don't wanna be the nicest home. If you're somewhere slightly above average, you're gonna have the most comparable support, probably the biggest pool of buyers to choose from. So aim for that when you're pricing it, and then aim for that when you're building it. All right, so number one, don't overestimate the sales price. Number two, do not underestimate the cost it will take, all right? Get reasonable estimates. If you've never done this before, talk to 2 or preferably 3 contractors and get quotes from them. Have them walk the deal with you before you get to closing. Have them get you estimates early. It may be advisable to even pay them for the estimate. Let them know you're not gonna waste their time. A few dollars spent up front can save you a lot of dollars in the bad mistake. And number 3, do not underestimate the time it takes to do it, all right? Add time to what the contractors tell you, especially if you've never done this before and don't have realistic prior experience. Assume that it's gonna take longer than what they tell you. It's just too unpredictable. Better to have a buffer and then end up doing it in less time. So when the time takes longer than you projected, it actually leads to 2 bad things. Number one, your holding cost goes up, all right? Because you're probably doing this with loans, with investors, you got property taxes, other expenses, so your costs go up, your holding costs go up. Your market risk exposure goes up, all right? The longer a project is, the more risk you have with the market changing. So that exposure goes up, so you don't want to underestimate the time the project will take. 2 quick tips on how to make your rehabs, your simple rehabs, go better. 1, start the work before closing if possible. All right, at minimum, you can start the planning before, you can start getting the contractors to order supplies so that the day you close, they come in and start doing the work. It may be possible to even start some of the physical work beforehand, depending on what you negotiate with the seller. So start the work ahead of time. Number 2, start the sales process as early as you can. If you're a real estate agent, start it right away. If you're not a real estate agent, get a real estate agent that can start trying to market and sell the property right away. You can even entice buyers with things like getting to pick their cabinets, their flooring, their appliances if they get in soon enough. So start the work soon, start the sales process soon. Your goal is to flip these as quickly as possible. There are people that are really good that can close on it and within 90 days exit the deal and make 25K, 50K, 75K a flip, even bigger numbers on simple ones, simple cosmetic things. You know, just doing the floors, the bathrooms, the kitchen, that kind of stuff. So start soon on the sales process, start soon on the rehab process. In part 4, I'm gonna show you how to make even bigger profits by doing bigger rehabs where you actually go in and increase the square footage, make the home bigger. So hit the subscribe button and I'll see you soon.